Hey everyone, so with Tech with Gore today, we're going to talk about streaming. Now, if you've ever asked yourself, I've got 100 channels on cable and nothing to watch, you might want to be looking at a streaming service. If you're finding your cable bills are ridiculous, you also might be looking at streaming service. For those who don't know what streaming services are or what streaming is in general, basically it is information that is being received by internet. So this can be on your computer or mobile device, and basically it's continuously flowing. So, you're not having to wait for it to finish downloading. Basically, it's going to be kind of almost streamless. So basically, when I hit that play button, you can watch the movie from the beginning to end, and you really don't have to worry about having to wait very long to download it because it should be almost like immediately. So when we talk about downloading versus streaming, so with streaming again, it's going to allow you to start watching right off the bat. Where if I talk about downloading means I have to wait until it completes. So that 0%, 1%, I gotta wait until it gets to 100%. Where with streaming, I don't have to wait. It just starts up. Now, with streaming, generally this information, once it's done, it's deleted. It doesn't stay on your computer. So we don't have to worry about space when it comes to streaming, whereas downloading, I'm receiving that entire package, and once I have that package, usually it's going to be there until I delete it. So when we talk about streaming, we are talking about using the internet. So unfortunately, if you don't have reliable internet or you don't have internet altogether, streaming is not for you, unfortunately. Depending on the speed, they do recommend you should have at least 2 megabytes a second. So that's basically the slowest thing you can get. Um, most of most of us have that nowadays. Now, when it comes to 4K, so when I talk about 4K content, this is the high def, everything looks real on the screen. Now, generally with this, such content, we need a little faster internet. So you're looking at 9 megabytes per second. So, it is good to check out what service you have for internet before you jump on to a streaming service. But, for most of us, we should meet the basic standards. But, when it comes down to 4K, you might just want to double check that if we're going to, stream high def content. So with streaming, basically, there are a lot of different services out there, and it really is like watching regular television, except, we're not worrying about antennas. We really don't need cable wires coming in. Um, and generally, it's going to give us a whole variety. Like, there's a whole lot of different streaming services out there, and during this, I'll kind of mention the ones that I've used and heard about. But we can find more variety using streaming service, or if you want to call it internet TV, than your basic cable package. And you can find a streaming service out there that kind of meets your needs. So again, I've got 100 channels and I got nothing to watch. Well, with a streaming service, we could pick a service that's going to have content right for us. Now you might go, Gordon, well, how do I get streaming services? I'm really not sure what to do. Like, will my TV handle it? So, newer TVs, if you've ever heard of a smart TVs will have that feature built in. They already have Netflix. You can download other streaming services. If you don't have a smart TV, that's okay. There are devices out there that will give you that ability. So, the example, there are some Blu-ray players that have internet services. If you have a son who has an Xbox or a PlayStation, if you can use that, you probably have the ability to do streaming services from there. There are devices out there, Amazon has Firefly, the Roku, the Comcast. Amazon does make one, but it's kind of lost on me. Apple TV. These are little devices themselves, and if you look up above, basically they plug into your TV, and they basically do all the work for you. Even if you have a laptop, you can connect these guys to your TV and they can act as your streaming device. So there are different ways to do this if you don't have a smart TV. If you do have a smart TV, that's great. But if you don't feel like, oh my God, this is not going to be for me, because again, if you look that way, there are all kinds of different devices out there for you. Now, one cool thing, and I haven't used, well, I've actually used the Discord for this, but with COVID and being isolated, there are ways to get together with friends and family members and watch streaming services together. So, what this means is generally you are going to be using, again, a computer for this, and you can invite a friend or a family member to watch. So they're going to be watching it on their computer or laptop or whatever device, and you're going to watch the same program together. So, we can't be physically together. We could watch a movie with a friend or a family member. So there are a couple out there to help with this. The Netflix Party, basically, this is a browser extension. So basically, this is a plugin. You install it, add it to your Google Chrome, and then basically you sign into your account, and then you can share a link with your friends, and then they can watch together. I personally use Discord, so basically there's a live feature, so whatever's on my screen, I'm sharing with someone. So I basically share, we want to watch a movie, let's watch a movie together. There are a couple out there, and I do recommend, if you are lonely or you're looking to maybe share an experience, look into these services. They might be beneficial. So when it comes to costs, one thing is, again, you do need the internet in order to get this to work. There are a few services for streaming that are free. If you look at YouTube, YouTube is a streaming service. This video you're watching right now is technically being streamed to you. You can go to different TV sites, and sometimes they will stream some of their latest and greatest programs, like NBC, AMC. They'll kind of have the latest. They won't have everything, but you can get a few freebies. Sometimes with free, you do have to deal with advertisements, but that's with everything. Subscription, so basically it's like a monthly cable bill. Your fees are based off of how many people can view, what services they're providing, and it fluctuates, but generally for your average cable bill, they are a lot cheaper. So an example, Disney Plus, if you get a year's worth, you're paying about $90. $90 a year. $90 a year. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. The other version is called pay-per-view. You've probably heard of this in the past. Now this is generally for newer, later movies or latest movies. So because the movie theaters are not opening at this time, a lot of these brand new spanking movies, they're coming to streaming services, and you just pay that $5 or $7, and you and your family can watch a movie. So they've done this with the latest Trolls movies. There was a Vin Diesel that just happened, but you can watch it instead of going to the theaters right in your home. And again, it's a lot cheaper than actually going to the movies. So pay-per-view is basically you pay to watch the movie the one time. So almost similar to like going to a concert, getting that movie ticket. You pay to go see it, and that's it. Only once. So when it comes to free that are out there, again, we've got NBC, we've got Fox, Link TV, YouTube. Spotify if you enjoy audio. When it comes to subscriptions, Netflix, Amazon Prime, it's kind of nice because you can get an Amazon account, so deal with free shipping and all that, and you also get a access to a streaming service. Pretty cool. Acorn TV. This is a channel specifically for British TV shows. So if you really enjoy some British shows, great place to go. Crave TV is very generic. You can get basically anything on it. Disney Plus, everything Disney related. Star Wars, Marvel. You've got kids, a lot of collection of kids stuff. Apple Music if you're interested in music. And I would suggest when you look at subscriptions, like look at um, what they offer because they should give you a list of what's on there to give you a better idea if this is going to be the streaming service for you. So again, if you've got kids, you might go maybe Disney Plus is good for them. Again, you like British Acorn TV. There's one for horror fans, Shudder, all kinds of ones specifically. Recently HBO just launched one, so they've got a ton of content that's Warner Brothers specific. So you can kind of dive in, take a look before you buy, and sometimes they will offer a 7 days trial. Now, if you do the 7 days trial, you do want to make sure that you cancel out because usually even for 7 days you do give them a credit card information, but as long as you finish in those 7 days, you're fine. But if you kind of let your credit card linger, they will charge you for a month or so. So you do want to be careful when it comes down to the free trials, but it gives you a chance to explore, and if you don't like it, you just cancel it, and then you're done with it. There are a few things that happen when it comes to streaming. So one is called buffering. So basically, what happens is the content is being provided to you too fast, and your internet's not keeping up with it. So because of this, things will start slowing down. Sometimes audio and video seems to kind of overlap. My mouth might be talking or look like they're saying something, but the voice is not matching up. I could freeze, and you might have to wait. You might even see that logo above saying buffering. So basically, what's happening is basically your internet's not catching up to the content that's being provided. So basically, it's kind of narrowing down, and it's just because it's not keeping up. That's when we get buffering issues. So what to do when it comes to buffering. Cut back on background downloading. Again, depending on your internet, you might only want to specifically watch a streaming service. Shouldn't download anything in the background. If you have multiple users in the house, you've got Tommy in the next room playing video games. You might say, can you stop while I watch this? Because he's also pulling internet and it's taking away from your streaming service. There are sometimes ways to create larger buffer spaces. So, even pausing a video allows it to kind of get more content. So it starts, again, it's a continuous flow. So even though you pause it, you'll kind of see sometimes the bar is continuing to fill. So you are giving your more space to watch. So sometimes if you find that it's constantly stopping, just give it pause, give it a few minutes, watch that bar move a little bit. And now from my playhead to where it's at, I've got like much more space to deal with. Um, you can check your internet speed if you're on a computer. You can double check what your internet speed is. If you're on a computer, you can also adjust the buffering. So again, right, what I'm showing you above, it's just kind of showing you the options. So you can tell it, I want 5 seconds from that playhead all the time. You might want to extend it more. But really, for TV users, the biggest thing is dealing with other people in the house. What are you watching it in? Sometimes you can change the quality of the video. So, what I talked about before about 4K. If you're watching everything in 4K and you can't handle it, your machines or your video is constantly going to be buffering because you just can't handle it. So you might want to change the quality of the video to match your internet base. And that's streaming in a nutshell. I do encourage it. You know, you can even technically share a streaming service. For me, I have Disney Plus. With Disney Plus, you can have 8 or 4 people watching at the same time. So, technically, I share my account with my family members so they can watch Disney Plus, and what they end up doing the same. So they have an Amazon account or Netflix account. So there's 3 people there, so they share it. So sometimes you can do a little bit of sharing so you can see more streaming services because we are living in an age where there are a lot of streaming services available. So, do your research, figure out what you want, look at the price. And again, if you have good internet, I do think it's the norm now. And, we are watching a lot of people cut their cable just because of that. Me personally, I don't have cable. I just rely on streaming service. So again, hope you like this video. Do your research and, maybe you'll start streaming. Hope you enjoyed and have a nice Thursday.